Hi, friends. Host Eric here. We're talking with famous people. I'm here to tell you that being a beautiful lady is hard. I go through life every day. I go places, men are objectifying me, staring at my boobs, slapping me on the butt. It's not easy being a beautiful lady like me. Okay. But I suffer through. I soldier on. I make it all the way to the promised land. Sure, I know it's my fault, but it's something I live with. Being a beautiful lady, turning heads everywhere I go. You know, some people say it's not polite for men to whistle at me. I say they can't help themselves. The whistle comes unsought from their lips when they see me saunter by with the wiggle in my walk and the giggle in my talk. I'm simply irresistible. Hi, Jerry, like them. Amber Drescher. Rhyming with thunder as usual. That's very, very kind of you, Amber. Thank you very much. I muchly appreciate it. The funny thing is, Jeebus is the one who really who got me to live stream tonight because he was bugging me on the phone about it. He was sending me text messages saying, "When are you gonna live stream tonight?" And I was like, maybe, I guess. Yeah, okay, why not? So thank you very much, Amber. Jeebus points out correctly that you are a strong and independent woman. Shabadoo says, my mom has always said to me, you have no idea what it's like to have everyone stare at you when you walk in the room. Then one day, it just stops. Chilling. I don't have any idea what that's like. Delilah probably does. But you know what? I don't think she pays a lot of attention to it. She's a pretty boom, like kind of girl, you know. Take more responsibility for your genetics. Force yourself out of symmetry. Okay, well, listen. Being an extraordinarily beautiful lady like I am, I've got those pouty lips. You can see them. It drives men wild. I don't know if any of you guys have tried pouty lips before. When talking with men, drive them wild. They just want to jump right on me and start humping me. I've also got bedroom eyes. Can you see them? See the bedroom eyes? I don't have to wear any makeup. Right. I'm naturally like this. These are all beauty lines. Most people don't have these kind of serious beauty lines that I have, but they're not as beautiful. That's why. That's why I win all the beautiful lady contests. You know, like Miss America, Miss World, Miss Universe, beautiful lady contests. They stopped letting me enter them because I kept winning time and time again. You are the thunder. I am the X-Men. I'm gonna pull Bong Rip. This one's gonna go out to Amber, who deserves it. Tonight, Amber, you're smoking Novocaine. Novocaine. And dig down to the bottom of the bottle where the more choicer nugs are. I got the bottom of the barrel at the weed store here, the Novocaine, but I liked it. I liked the smell of it. I liked the look of it. I said, you know what? Maybe the bottom of the jar, but I'm still going to get that. So I did. Novocaine. Now, keep in mind, it's not actually used for dental surgery. So, if Amber Drescher, after this transubstantiated bong rip, you were thinking you were going to be able to do dental surgery on yourself, no, it's not that kind of Novocaine. All right. Funny, I think to myself, like, oh, I'll have to pull another one after this. This one's going out to Amber. Like, you know, it's another to forget. Okay. I hereby transubstantiate the Hey, it's Zandy. LJ says, I mean, it's rare to meet an actually bearded lady. He just has some service. This isn't a beard, LJ. These are beauty hairs, they're called. Beauty hairs. Most women don't have beauty hairs. I do. I've got a whole face full of them. Why? Because I'm that much more beautiful than most women. So they call me when I walk into a room and say, hey, beautiful lady, what's happening with you? And then they thrust their hips suggestively. That's how I know. Once again, they all want to hump me. Everybody's always wanting to hump me. Hey, can we please hump you again? They'll say, and I'll be like, guys, I got more things to do than just get humped all the time. And they'll say, but you're such a beautiful lady. I'll say, all right, go ahead. Real quick, though. Don't take a long time. Just yump, yump, yump. Let it all out. Oh, Sheila. You know, they say beauty hairs run in the family, so you may well indeed have that gift someday. Is physics TI or TE? Well, okay. We're back to this question. It's funny. It's funny you resumed right there because I thought to myself when I rewatched that live stream, I didn't do a good job of articulating this. And in fact, I sort of articulated it wrong. Let me pull this phone up and answer your question. So, the answer is physics is TI, but any application of physics is TE. So it's like, say you got to build a bridge. You're going to have to apply TI understanding to physics, which is to say TI successfully does things like tell you how fast things accelerate when they drop from a height because of gravity, right? Things that are repeatable. The TI represents those things into symbols, like math symbols and stuff, and they get tested within their own logics, usually abstractly, but they're really there so that people can use them for some specific purpose. As soon as physics gets applied to TE, as soon as physics gets applied to a particular situation, it becomes TE. Let's see here. That part of physics, hyperspace, correct, is TI. The part that says, Kimmy.
What? Amber?
So the part that says, we should check these equations and make sure you've gotten the correct answer and stuff like that. The kind of physics that involves doing pencil and paper work is TI. But if you're an engineer and you've got to account for the fact that this particular slope of the mountain we're building into is slanted this way, and we've got to adjust things this way, and we've got to figure out which bit of physics to apply how and how this is all going to work, that then becomes TE. So the point being that the TI aspects of things are universalist, the things that can be taken as that have a universal logic to them. So in other words, the answer to the math problem is either correct or incorrect. That makes it TI. But the TE is a particular solution to a particular problem with a particular goal, you know? How Brenda asks, hey, Eric, how do you think your FE and SI function used to change since your teenage years? I think my SI function has gotten a lot better since my early 40s. Since I got with Kimberly, it's gotten a lot better. And it's a lot more active, and I'm much more aware of my state of tiredness, my state of hunger, my stinkiness. Kimberly keeps me aware of that. But even independently of Kimberly, I'm aware of my state of hunger, usually thirst, need for rest, especially. I have a much more active and involved relationship with my own physical energy level and stuff. So That's what I think about SI, but I think that's mostly been changed by being with my dual and not so much by just being older. I think that I could be older, and if I didn't, if I weren't with my dual, I'd still have a lot of SI problems. And I think that with FE, I think it's gotten a lot better, mostly because of YouTube. And I am sort of waiting.
Did you have better SI when you were with Candace, or was it the same?
She facilitated my SI less, and she did SI shit for me more. So I can't really makes me. I mean, it's hard to say because I didn't have cognitive functions to understand things through back then. You know, I probably would have had a different experience if I had known about cognitive functions. I probably would have applied it in a similar way, but I didn't, and so I didn't have that experience. Jeebus says he missed out on the C.S. Joseph roast last night. It wasn't really a roast. I'd rather know what life's like as C.S. Joseph. What is life like as C.S. Joseph? Who's sassy? Jeebus says, simmer down, sassy. Am I sassy? No, I think he's talking to Amber, maybe. Brenna Lee, haha, hey. Amber says to you, Kimberly, air hugs.
Hugs.
And also, she includes you in the category of you beautiful, gorgeous souls. So just to let you know.
We love you too. I am making your t-shirt right now.
She is. She's inside working on t-shirts. Let's see. What's next? What function allows someone to guess which size Tupperware leftovers in a pot will fit into? Or whether the sofa will actually fit through the door, or how big a parking spot really is. Well, that's something that I don't have very well. I think it's either physical SE or physical TE, and the physical aspects application of SE or TE, because I'm incredibly terrible at that. I'm really bad. You give me a piece of furniture and say, how do I turn this to fit this to the doorway, Eric? I'll say, you are asking the wrong guy. This is going to take me a while. I'm terrible at it. All right, let's see here. Gilded Garden. Hello, Gilded Garden. Nice to see you with your 2 Gs and your ild and your ard. Quicksilver 17 watched Objective Subjective video. Great video. Loved it. Explains everything and why everyone has their misconceptions on you and completely understanding what you mean now. But TI is fuck. Well, thank you, Quicksilver 17. Who the heck is C.S. Joseph? He's this guy who's the type of guy who says stuff, which is why people are confused. They can't see the metaphysical understanding of it. Also, I look at the same thing you're describing as objective subjective from a different perspective. INTJ, I swear. Cool. I'm glad to hear that. I'm not claiming some sort of ownership over all of these ideas or anything. I'm saying this is my calculation of what all the ideas out there and a few of my own ideas taught then. But it's just I'm trying to get Jung's ideas right as I can, and Socionics' ideas right as I can. And I think there are key elements of their frameworks that they got wrong and are missing. So I try to correct it, and it's not even. I don't care where all the different ideas come from. I just want the whole thing to be right so we can rely on it. I just finished typing in ESFP, and what was really interesting, she came in believing herself to be an ENFP as far as I could tell. After I was done typing her and said, you're an ESFP, she said, before my ex-boyfriend like 10 years ago told me that I was definitely not a sensor and I was definitely intuitive and all this other shit, I had taken a test and I got ESFP and thought I was an ESFP back then. I mean, that's pretty satisfying when that shit happens, because I had no idea what she thought coming in. I had no idea whatsoever. In fact, she initiated the thing by sort of indicating that she wanted to be NT of some sort. She was an ESFP, but that there's nothing wrong with being an ESFP, and she was cool, and I liked her, and okay. Anyway, which is why people right. Hey, Eric, you should type former UFC champion Dominic Cruz. Interestingly enough, I suspect him to be an INTP. That would be interesting. Dominic Cruz, probably an ISTP. I wouldn't imagine an INTP would be good at MMA. But why do I get to be labeled as sassy? Host Eric. Okay, well, I'm a beautiful lady. Not all beautiful ladies have as much sass as you do, Amber, okay? Some of us beautiful ladies are more peace-loving. I'm a type 9 beautiful lady, okay? Means I'm a peacemaker. Me and Zandy are both 9, 7, 2, I think. 972. We're both 972. Go on a double date with Chad and Todd. Zandy's dating Todd. I'm dating Chad. And, you know, they get into fistfights with each other over whose lady is more beautiful. So that's what's really the truth. Okay, if you want to know. Do you think your dual is more likely to grow on you more and more over time if you're initially hesitant to your dual type not being somebody you typically go for? Yes, I do. I think that over time you sync your dual like you were meant to be there, and you end up working shit out. I don't know. I'm pretty relationshipy, pretty relationship effective, and pretty far along in my understanding about relationships after my first 2 failed marriages. Compare it against myself. It's possible that, with less effort or less willingness or something, that we wouldn't. But I see the duality relationship, attentional stuff, asking and treating habits. So, I find duality to be fascinating. I think it's just don't work out. And, there were times when I thought maybe Kimberly and I weren't going to work out, but I certainly do now think we're going to work out. And I'm glad we toughed it out through the tough times. It's something about the relationship that precludes you from bullshitting your way through problems, which is, you got to let it all hang out in some regard. All right, so t-shirts. Yes, we do have t-shirts. Kimberly is making t-shirts currently inside, and we're going to mail them out to people and stuff. And yeah, so when we have more made, then I'll talk more about it. Okay, that INTJ couple. Okay, you say, mister, that you're engaged to the sassiest, beautiful lady ever, but you're not engaged to me. I'm engaged to Kimberly. And, I'm sorry, I'm not sassy. That's right. I forgot. You're not engaged to Amber. Amber is engaged to you? I thought you were the sassiest, beautiful lady ever. Oh. 2 INTJs in a relationship together, you are brave. They prefer to be called Native American men. LJ is not brave. If all your friends tend to be ENFPs, should you conclude that you're an INFJ, or is there a type that might don't collect ENFPs? They're probably not going to rise in value over time. No, we're not. These aren't silk screen. These are heat press, and we've got heat press vinyl, which looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. Screen though, and we probably will. I prefer silk screen, screen printing. The t-shirts that I already in the past, the green ones with the yellow on them and the yellow ones with the green on them, those are silk screened. All the ones I've had made before, Kimberly and I got this Cricut, were screen printed. But I didn't have the means to do that myself. I'd like to acquire that means and start screen printing myself. It seems actually less complicated than I feared. Holy tits, is anyone else's video? I hope not. LJ, I was just thinking that. Oh boy. Yeah, well, each of them know that everybody's doing everything wrong, and they are enraged and silent about it. They can share quiet time together in mutual silent rage, staring contemptuously at others who pass by, walking wrong. Michael Thompson suggests 2024 shirts. That's a good idea, Michael Thompson. Yes, you can collect people. You can, but it's not advised that you collect ENFPs because they're not likely to rise. If you collect female INTJs, they're the dark unicorns. They're worth double points. So, No, you basically have to make trading cards of them. So you could just pretend to make trading cards of them as well. You have to call them periodically. You still around? Yeah, you still friends with me? Okay, cool. See you later. Amber says, Jeebus, people collectibles. I'm in very fine to mint condition. I'm still only worth like $1.50. So if you have a host, Eric, they made too many of me, I guess. Can you make them bobbleheads? Yeah, you can make them bobbleheads. Elon Musk, what type do you think? UCTINE applied to meet FE, better environment for you. I don't see INTJ. I don't know what type he is. I'd have to watch a series of interviews with him. I would suspect he'd be more likely to be an ENTJ than an INTJ, but I don't know. I just don't have enough information. Unicorns are shapeshifters. You can't catch them. Well, you can if you're a virgin, LJ. You can't catch them. I think we know what that says about you. I can still catch them, okay? 47 years old, 2 failed marriages, 1 child. Somehow through it all, I managed to stay a virgin. But you, LJ, unicorns won't let you get near them. You neither, Brenna Lee. Okay? I know what kind of ladies we got around here. You guys can't ride unicorns. I still can. I'm not sure Kimberly can ride unicorns anymore. She swears up and down that she's still a virgin, but I have my doubts. Okay. I prefer to preserve voodoo dolls of all my people in jars of honey. Good preservative. Natural preservative. Podcast with Joe Rogan. Who is podcast with Joe Rogan? Poopsicles? Oh, Elon Musk. Right. Okay. I adore unicorns. I'd never capture one. They must magically run freely. Well, you can still hang out with them if you're not a virgin. You just can't ride them. Okay? That's the rule. Non-virgins can still hang out with unicorns. Unicorns themselves usually aren't virgins. And the virgins who ride them usually aren't virgins after they're done riding them either. So I think we know what that means. They're a seductive gang of semi-horse-like creatures. Eric, odd question, but I'd appreciate your perspective. Do you think duality would still apply to same-sex couples because the odds of finding a lesbian ESTJ is like very slim? I don't see why they wouldn't. I think they would absolutely apply to same-sex couples. I think they apply to friends too. Like my oldest friend, the one friend that I've maintained my entire life and not ever, faded away from, Dave Porter. I've been friends with him for 44 years, and he's an ISFJ. So, yeah. Yeah. And if they do successfully survive Joe Shabbat, if the hymen does successfully survive the unicorn ride, it's not going to survive the mandatory picnic with the unicorn afterwards. Believe me, he's got red wine. He's a smooth talker. Have you heard of C.S. Joseph's future video season where he'll predict someone's fighting style based on their type? It's a pretty good idea. He's got a punch like this and that and the other. Unicorn consent is absolutely real. Oh, yeah, they respect your consent. But, well, they're Lotharios, okay? Lotharios. What's life like as a beautiful lady? Boring, solipsistic, avoiding existential nightmares, uphill battle, the journey of simulating worthy vessels? Well, invisible lanterns. And all the lips purse and they all go like that. So that's my experience. Now, I'm shapely. I'm womanly. I've got thick womanly thighs and a big womanly ass. I've got heaving womanly bosoms and a sultry womanly voice with pouty womanly lips and brooding bedroom womanly eyes. So I would know well the answer to your question. Life as a beautiful lady is absolutely fantastic. Hi, Becky. Unicorns are not make-believe, Jeebus. All you gotta do is take a horn on top of a horse. Tim Boulware. I would love to see you to presidential candidate Tulsi Gabbard. My guess is well-developed ENTP with well-developed for third function, like Barack Obama, for example. But, having a well-developed third function does not mean you're well-developed ENTP, as Barack Obama is proof of. He had too much of the FE down and too little of the TI. I'm not gonna lie. I used to jerk off to this tranny online. It might have been me. It might have been because I'm a beautiful lady. If you're saying tranny, you're talking about my race. I was talking because I am transracial. You're aware of that? Yeah, I'm transracial, and so for some people, I usually when called tranny somebody, I correct them and say that's derogatory. The transracial people prefer to be called transraces, which is a little different. Life as a beautiful lady is quite a beautiful life, but it comes with great responsibility, like being Spider-Man. I believe it. I believe it. Oh, they get equal pay. They do, believe me. I get paid every day in leering glances and the undressing of me by others' eyes. That's what I get paid in. That's a currency I can enjoy. As Planet Ketchup eloquently says, Bork. I couldn't have said it any better myself, Planet Ketchup. Obama sucks. Yes, well, he was a bit of a failure, but I didn't suck nearly as much as Trump. I mean, he may have done more damage ultimately, interestingly. How do I leverage my looks? Well, I leverage them for everything from free pie to a good time, Barry, but, I think we're probably better off as friends. Thanks for the trip to Palm Springs. You can put your penis away. Today I learned that dog poo beneath the ice makes the ice melt faster. Interesting. There's some possible solution there. We could just spread dog poo all over the roads instead of salt. Probably less damaging to the roads. Let's see. Jeebus identifies as a middle-aged Filipino woman. Well, I respect that. I can respect that. Is it just me or the connection that's poor? I don't know how rich you are, Invisible Ancestor. It's hard for me to answer that question. I don't know anything about your finances. I get paid in sexual innuendo and acts. Yeah. And no speeding tickets. Right. I'll go, officer, don't you think you could let me go off from our speeding ticket? Me. The cop's like, okay, sweet. That's pretty cool. Oh yeah, all the polls. It's just in. You can get pie if you're beautiful. You already do probably get pie, LJ. You probably get it for free, and you just assume it's because you paid for it or something. When really, you just got it because you're beautiful. That'd probably be my guess. You get your pie, sister. You get your pie. It's smelly pie. Oh no, not the pie. The roadways. The roadways are smelly from smearing poo on them. That's true, Becky. That's not an unfair critique. The connection is balls tonight, huh? And C.S. Joseph would show up tonight. Well, I think it's unlikely C.S. Joseph's going to show up. Nice if he were to show up. I would appreciate that. I'd say, welcome, C.S. Joseph. Come, talk in my live chat. Tell me things. So not just me. It's just you at Jeebus. That's it. Everybody else having perfect connection. Okay, let's pretend that that's the answer. Dog poo is in the Green New Deal by me. The Green New Deal involves spraying dog poo all over that lady's face. C.S. Joseph? No, he's not a woman. I'm a beautiful lady. I'm not really a woman per se, but I'm a beautiful lady. Okay. Oh, Desert INTJ, you're going to complain about it too? Everyone wants to complain all of a sudden. Oh, it's choppy tonight. I don't like the live stream because the connection's shitty. Well, listen, people. Nothing I can do about that. It's all your fault and not mine, I'm sure. That's what I'm convinced of. The first one is desert. The second one is art, invisible ancestor. You eat the second of those two things. C.S. Joseph likes to get his dinky stinky. I went to C.S. channel tonight so I could show that everybody comes around more. The drama, you know. I also get more viewers who want to know it's the same as mine. My experience is a beautiful lady, probably pretty textbook. You think C.S. Joseph gets free pie? He might. He deserves free pie. Chippity chop chop. Nickety not. But you're just complaining because your internet shit. Okay. Shit, I gotta put up with around here. I tell you. Oh, just think about it. Thank God. It's funny. It's funny talking to all you people all the time, any of you, or seeing you. I talk to Jeebus on text sometimes, and it's so weird, right? But it's like, oh, hey, there you are. Or you're just these words on a screen. Seems odd, but it's cool. I like it. Michael Thompson, I'd love to see a debate between you two. Well, I mean, it wouldn't be much of a debate. Am I having an existential crisis? No. LJ is still making MBTI videos or just more vegan videos? Having an existential crisis host? No, I'm not having any kind of existential crisis. I'm just enjoying the reality of talking to people on a live stream. I really like live streaming, and I like the fact that there's so many, I get some new faces and some familiar faces and yada, yada, yada. You'll argue with me? Okay, sure, Tim Bull. What do you want to argue about? Argue away. You say that we should smear poop all over the roads? I don't know about that, Tim Bullware. I don't know about that. Just because Becky says it makes ice melt faster, that's not a good enough reason. 100 Mile Media says, in regards to my music making, I think why I mind mixing music is because I treat it as an art in and of itself, as opposed to something I begrudgingly have to do. Well, that's true that our expectations about it and our frame of reference regarding the thing we're doing has a lot to do with how we approach it and whether or not we're exciting about it or tolerant or whatever. Please, it takes two to tango bait, as they say. Michael Thompson takes two to tango, takes two to bait. I'm down, but he's understandably not enthusiastic about that. I mean, even ENTPs are understandably not enthusiastic about that because of my job. I am a debate coach. So, I understand. Let's see. Plants versus Zombies. Who wins? It's on test in who can photosynthesize sunlight into energy better. I'm going to say plants. Argue about objectivity and subjectivity. Argue about. Me? Argue. There. Bong ripping time. Indeed. I saw a movie for the first time in ages tonight. It was Pet Sematary. It had a happy ending for the most part. Really? I think that movie's called Pet Seminary, and they all go to religious college at the end of it. All the pets do. The kitties and the doggies and everything. They go off to the seminary about Jesus and become priests. The priest that I could really get into if I had like a dog priest, like a beautiful puppy that was really friendly, and that was the head of the church. Plants beat the zombies. Amber seems to agree with me on this one. What are we like as individuals in your mind? Jojo Chabadoo says, well, like I picture you as being like a 35-year-old sassy, extroverted Italian wife. I do have a character in mind. That's what I picture you being. my picturing of people evolve somewhat. Like have really any kind of picturing of him because I didn't have any kind of circle picture, and I don't know. He's just I assume he's a dude, and he's probably like probably an NTP, I guess, of some sort. Yeah, you're Carla from Cheers, kind of. You're not single like Carla. You're more like that's a pretty good one. But I would say possibly like Flo. You're kind of like the Italian Flo. Kiss my grits. You know, Jeebus. You can be whatever you want to be. Well, I mean, you're an invisible ancestor. So if you're my invisible ancestor, then that limits you to one of my ancestors. I mean, that's just you chose the name, so now you can only be like one of my grandparents or something. Okay, you can believe anything you want about yourself. It doesn't make it true. Well, if you believe hard enough. I was named after Kirstie Alley in Cheers. Becky? That's not Kirstie. Who do you say is an NTP? Probably Jeebus. My dad thought she was hot. Yeah, Kirstie Alley in Cheers was hot. It's kind of weird talking to someone in real time. Always kind of weird not. Am I a Miss Goody One Shoe? You have two full shoes, Sheila Doe. Both of them entirely good. That makes you a Miss Goody Two Shoes through online video. Yes, the magic of online video allows me to invisibly speak with a visible ancestor into the past. What are your top 3 ice cream flavors? I do like coffee ice cream, probably number 1. I'm going to go with strawberry for number 2. And I'm going to go out of the box here and say daiquiri ice, a non-ice cream, actually, is number 3. Okay, well, what the hell should I do? Refresh the internet, or I don't know. I could try that. Let me try to turn off the internet and turn it on again. There might be a little gap here, but I'm going to see if I can fix it. Everybody's all complaining about it. Complainers. Is that better? Is it better now? Do I still sound like a robot? Or does it sound better? Do I sound soft and chewy? Like moisture? Summer barbecue. What day is the Talking with Famous People summer barbecue? I don't know. Are we having a Talking with Famous People summer barbecue? What type is most soulless? ENFJ, probably. Your quality is trash, but I guess it's fine. Is it fine now? Is it better now? Invisible ancestor is less invisible to you, more visible, or equally visible? It's slightly better. Aw, I want it to be a lot better. That's what I said about your mom's face. Invisible ancestor. The quality is trash, but I guess it's fine. That's what I said about your mom's face. So, what do you think about that? The anti-gay couple said, Eric, we're amazed at your ability to roll with bullshit on the fly. It's really impressive. Thank you. I appreciate that. It is my expertise. That is my ability. What do you define as a soulless, the opposite of soulmore? Spirits in the spiritual in the material world. A quote from the Police. Voice isn't as breaky. Okay, well, that's good. My mom equals your grandmother. Oh, well. That means you're my mom, but my mom's still alive. So I don't see how that's gonna work. You got to be a dead ancestor, I think. Eric, your shit quality makes it even more NTP. Well, I'm sorry about the shit quality. I don't want it to have. I don't want it to have a shitty quality. I want it to be easy to see, hear, and shit. Because I got to listen to it in the car probably pretty soon, and I don't listen to a bunch of sticky wadicky. Every time I make a mom joke, the mom is dead. That is the risk of making your mom jokes. That's true. You ideally like to make your mom jokes at people whose moms are still alive. Ha, yes, police. Ha, indeed. What type would be most likely a singer in a rock band? Well, I would say that probably any of your action types is going to want to have that role. So that's ESTP, ESFP, ENTP, ENFP, and additionally, possibly your FE DOMs will want to have that role as well, your ESFJ or ENFJ. As to talent, that's a different question entirely, and that one's harder to answer. But as far as who would want to be that, I would say those are the types who would want to be that. Shabadu says, I would expect nothing less from an invisible ancestor. Stevenson. Which type would say Superman most likely be? Superman? Superman seems kind of non-type. He almost has no personality. So what I mean, anybody else ever thought of that? What Superman's personality type is? I have no idea. It doesn't seem to me like he expresses much personality at all. I guess that would make him what? ISTP? Why are all skateboarders ISTP? Are they maybe because all skateboarders are Superman? Invisible ancestors to Superman something. So like ESTJ maybe? Possibly. ISTJ, he could be maybe. ISFJ, ESFJ, he could be an ISFJ. That wouldn't be out of the question. God complex much? Hero type? I mean, he doesn't seem to really have that much of a God complex. It seems like it keeps being forced upon him, right? Superman has no type, but Clark Kent is ISFJ. That's possible. That's very plausible. I think Clark Kent is an ISFJ. That would make sense. Eric, if I was your only call on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, what kind of question would you call me on? Well, if you were my only call, then it would be any question I didn't know the answer to. Ooh, is this a delicious treat?
Yeah.
So Kimberly made another delicious treat. I almost made the mistake of eating one of these little pies before it was cooked. I checked and I said, I think those maybe have to be cooked, and they did. How does weed affect cognitive functions? I don't really think it impacts your functions per se. It impacts maybe how that function expresses a little bit. I mean, the way I would describe the impact of marijuana on me, it doesn't seem to involve me really describing. Well, I guess it describes being more inclined towards SE. That when that's what I need, that I stop thinking about what I ought to do and start doing something. That's one impact of it. Superman tells Batman that Batman can't, or that Superman can't win. Let's see. Jeebus says it kills a lot of brain cells. It doesn't kill a lot of brain cells. It's an urban myth. Brain cells. I wouldn't have much brain left by now.
That's what they told people back in the day because they were both.
You're retarded. Really? Oh, yeah. He's cognitive transitioning into C.S. Joseph when high. Who, me? I'm always C.S. Joseph, I guess. I'm a lot of weed, you know. I'm not shy with the weed smoking.
I'm not shy about saying that I'm not attracted to C.S. Joseph.
Milan says he knows that some drugs make you broader and some drugs make you more laser focused. Well, yeah, that's true. Good observation. Is the placement of SD in the cognitive stack affecting? Good question. I don't have really any answer to that. Milan, explain being laser focused, says Jeremiah Biggs. Miss Kimberly, you're an incredibly amazing woman. You take care of host Eric. You're so strong. It's not that hard to take care of me, Amber.
Yes.
So, Evelyn asked, what is your position on universal health care? My position on healthcare in the United States is that the current system is not good. That the state spends a lot of money on healthcare already and provides not much health care across the country. The state of California provides more healthcare than the federal government, but the federal government spends more money on it than the state of California. My position is if we were going to socialize something, if we're going to make something single payer or universal or whatever, healthcare makes the most sense of anything. And if we were to take all the existing resources that we waste on things like disability payments to people who largely aren't very disabled, Social Security and Medicare and all those other programs for providing healthcare, we're going to take all those funds and build a functional single payer alternative to private healthcare. You know, it wouldn't be the end of the world. What I don't like is the way that there are these insurance companies functioning as middlemen between people and healthcare. I think that drives up costs astronomically, and it's a serious problem. And the only way to really stop that is to cut this insurance aspect out of the I typed in ESP tonight, and interesting. You mind, LJ? I've not formally typed you at all, so I don't know what your type is. I have to formally type you to be able to tell you what your type is. Joey Joe Shabadoo says the current model using insurance company as middleman is bananas and unsustainable. I totally agree with that. And that's and I don't like big government programs at all, but this ridiculous model we currently have is exactly that: bananas and unsustainable and stupid. And what? Why? What? Should individuals be allowed to do what they please with their government and provide health care that is paid by taxes? I mean, of course they should. You raise a concern. And people will use the public to make ownership of people. It's a good argument against universal health care, but I don't think ultimately decisive one. It oughtn't work that way. There oughtn't be an ability by anybody to claim that because for the government to make claims on people's rights is not purchase the government ownership of the person. Okay, so let's see. Tim Bulwer says insurance companies win with anything less than Medicare for all. Why Medicare for all? I mean, surely we can do a better job. I mean, it's still the same basic problem, right? That there needs to be some sort of linkage. If you really want to manage healthcare costs, there needs to be some sort of linkage between the individual and the expense. So if I've got health insurance that's saying, they're going to pay for shit, then there's always going to be a natural condition where the doctor is going to say, well, let's have some more tests for you. And the patient is naturally going to say, yeah, okay, just be safe. Why not? And there's going to be this shit ton of access services provided that aren't really necessary, but that help people feel a little more reassured. And so at the end of the day, if you want to control healthcare costs, ultimately, there needs to be some sort of linkage to the individual who's incurring those healthcare costs. Some individual person is incurring them. Who's paying for them? So do I want to pay for these extra tests just to be sure if it's myself? Well, maybe not. Maybe it's not worth it. Maybe we're plenty sure we don't really need this extra verification. And if I have to pay for it somewhat out of my pocket at least, then there's a disincentive to abuse the healthcare system. Whereas if there's not such incentive, then first of all, there's never going to be disincentive on the doctors, right? They're always going to be incentivized to ever prescribe more shit because they're getting paid by the procedure. We should all support each other, though. What does that mean? Emotionally or financially?